Welcome back to the Writer's Workshop, where we give you the tools to unleash your creativity and flourish. I am Lady V.
I am Alice Brown.
And today we are going over writing the differences of creating a alpha male character and a alpha whole. And yes, there is a distinct difference.
Oh, is there ever? A huge difference.
So for those of you who do not know what a alpha whole is, most of the time these are put in your romance categories, romantasy, fantasy romance, any of your romance categories really. And it is a alpha male who tends to be an a-hole and likes to assert his dominance, which does not always work for the story. So we're going to go over the differences and how to create a alpha male character who is not an a-hole. So let's get started.
To start your characters on opposite sides is actually a good thing. You want differences.
Absolutely.
It makes the story better, and it gives you something to work with to slowly blend those differences until they can come together. However, there is a fine line in going too far. Differences, yes. When you make the alpha male into just this obnoxious, rude, it has to be my way or the highway,
arrogant, controlling.
That tends to put a lot of readers off.
Opposites do attract, and so it's good to have your differences, as you said in the beginning of the book, because that initially is what happens in real life with couples.
Exactly. Your father and I are perfect examples. We're opposite on almost everything. But, there was an attraction there, and we got together. And
I sometimes still question what it was, because you two are completely at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Over 30 years later, we're still together, so something's had to work.
Very true. You got me, I'm the glue.
Exactly, yeah. But it's like bread and butter. They each have their distinct reasons in life, their distinct qualities. When you finally put them together,
it makes a delicious snack.
They work like glue.
Too often, writers tend to create a alpha male that is above everybody else, that is unwilling to bend, unwilling to break, unwilling to listen to others. And yes, you do want your alpha character to have a backbone.
Yes.
But you want him to have a compassionate side too. He needs to be able to listen to the people under him and not just stomp on their needs, their wants, their desires, but instead listen to them and figure out how to accommodate them in the best way that is beneficial to both him and the other character in your story.
It always amazes me when I get a hold of a romance book and the alpha male is just this complete a-hole, and the female character is twirling her hair going, "Oh, I know he's a rude ass, but I just want to have his babies." Please, guys, this is 2026. Come on. Would we put up with this in real life?
I'm actively trying not to hurl.
I would hope and pray not. Why are we putting up with it in stories? Yes, you want your male character to be strong, even a little dominant, but not to the point that they are stomping on other people or stomping on the female in the
heroine.
Yeah, the heroine in the story. It's important that he listens to her, that he takes into account her emotions and her feelings.
Quite often we display that in a lot of our stories, where the male character will take, when you're in his point of view, he will take a step back and go, okay, this is what she needs, but I still need to protect her from the outside dangers she's facing. How can I accommodate both?
I love writing stories where at the beginning the heroine is broken or down for whatever reason, and it is not up to the male to fix her. It is up to the male to provide a safe environment
for her
to fix herself. Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say that's probably my weakness, is writing those types of relationships in our books.
I love it.
It is one that just,
I don't consider it a weakness. I consider it's one of our
well, no, I mean, it's my weakness. I'm a sucker for it. I am a sucker for that type of story.
Yes.
That was what I meant by weakness, not actually a weakness. It's just, I'm a sucker for it. I'm always going to turn to that type of story.
Exactly. And it may come down to the fact that we tend to be rather strong-willed women ourselves, and that's what plays a major role in our writing.
Very true.
That would not surprise me one bit.
I've known many men that have said when you're not around that you're very intimidating or strong-willed or opinionated.
Let's see.
A handful.
And let's say, just recently I've heard intense. I had one male tell my husband that I could have made a good drill sergeant.
Well, we knew that part. That one wasn't news to us.
I'm really a nice person.
She is. Just don't push the wrong buttons. Take the time as you go down the route of both of your characters to explore both past emotions, present emotions, past pains and sins, and really get to know each other. Then take the time to explore the give and take on both sides.
That's important.
It is very important.
And if you start your male as an alpha hole, there's not going to be too much give and take. There's going to be more give and, well, less give and more take.
I was going to say, if you're writing an alpha hole, it's more take on his part and less give. Whereas if you write a strong alpha male character who is compassionate, it is equal take and give.
If you take the time to develop their emotions, really flush everything out, it will make, when they finally get together, when that bread and butter finally come together, that much sweeter.
So if your story does call for an alpha hole, that is completely understandable. But if you're trying to figure out the personality of your alpha male character to be just a strong and compassionate alpha male versus an alpha hole, do some thinking on how you exactly want him to be presented. It does not fit every story, and I understand that. Some stories do call for an alpha hole. A lot of your enemies to lovers end up starting out with the alpha male being an alpha hole, but then breaking later on to be more compassionate and just a alpha male character towards the female.
I'm going to say, I tend to do the alpha hole as the enemy.
The enemy, yes.
Always.
Yeah, but I can see where some of your stories, a Beauty and the Beast style reference is really good for this. You know, the Beast starts out as kind of like that alpha hole. It's take, take, take.
Yeah.
But when he realizes that he can love and somebody can love him, he kind of just becomes more of the strong and compassionate male character. He's the alpha hole because he's been hurt before. And that's understandable, and I can actually agree with a lot of that.
Yes. As long as they can change, then yes, you could start it off with
a more alpha hole, very gruff and closed off to everything and everybody.
Once you explore those feelings, though, yes, I think in the end you want to kind of change them around.
Keep that as just the beginning part when, they're cold and abrasive to the entire world, but realize that they have something to change for.
We did that with Garrett, with Santa Vamp.
Yes.
He was
Santa
very
Vamp
cold at the very beginning, but he quickly loosened up and warmed up.
Yes, very much so. And I will say we've had a few, not necessarily alpha holes for men, but there's been a few of our females. Carmen from Rubenmeyer was very much closed off, hated everybody, did not want compassion towards her being shown, none of it, but you find out that there's a actual reason behind that.
Very much so.
And
once King Thorn realized what was going on and broke through, then of course she warmed up.
She definitely warmed up, yep. So that's going to do it for today's class. Let us know if you're writing a alpha hole or a just compassionate alpha male in your current story. And until next time, always remember to never stop learning and don't stop dreaming.